Been here 16 years, 17 years. 16 and a half years, I don't know. I've seen it all. Financial crisis to war, to another war, to war, to another, to like, I think there were like 5 wars.
Progressives think they know better than you do. They want to control every aspect of your life.
I didn't know that that's what I wanted, but I guess I want to control every aspect of your life. It turns out that progressives advocating for government regulations on toxins in water and our children's toys turns us into China. In the 48 hours since the Romney video first gained wide exposure, turd containment crews have been working overtime on Bullshit Mountain. What do you think they're doing with their erections? Seriously, we'd love to know. Send your responses to Brian Williams, care of NBC Nightly News. Ari, that question you had about men's erections. There's not much that can get to me anymore. So I thought. He knew.
I want to talk about a burning question. What the hell happened to Jon Stewart?
Keep in mind, it was posted by a left-wing website.
Mother Jones, by the way, put this tape out.
Mother Jones, the magazine no one reads.
We're hearing word that Jimmy Carter's grandson might have played an instrumental role in getting this video.
Oh my God, your campaign got blown up by Jimmy Carter's grandson? He knew that the balls were being deflated. Brady knew. By the way, this isn't just the tabloid saying that. The Wall Street Journal. Also. That's not real, actually.
Why aren't we covering New York?
Why aren't we covering black-on-black crime?
Yes! Why all the interest in holding police officers to a higher standard than gangs?
Not many people have posted their opinions about John going after Joe Biden the way he did.
The independent report concludes it was more probable than not that Brady was at least generally aware that team personnel were deflating footballs before a critical playoff game.
After the story broke, Brady was texting the ball guy like he was a late-night booty call.
Jon Stewart is facing massive backlash from Democrats over his comments about Joe Biden. Oberman tweeted, well, after 9 years away, there's nothing else to say to the both side is fraud Jon Stewart bashing Biden except please make it another 9 years. Christy Jackson tweeted, sorry, but I won't be watching you either.
You know, I remember the first episode of The Daily Show after 9/11, and it was hard to watch. But he decompressed America in a way that no one else could. Jon Stewart made it okay to go on.
Good evening, and welcome to The Daily Show. We are back. This is our first show since the tragedy. They said to get back to work, and there were no jobs available for a man in the fetal position under his desk crying, which I gladly would have taken. The main reason that I wanted to speak tonight is not to tell you what this show's going to be, not to tell you about all the incredibly brave people that are here in New York and in Washington and around the country, but we've had an unenduring pain here and unendurable pain. And I wanted to tell you why I grieve. But why I don't despair. And they attacked it. This symbol of American ingenuity and strength and labor and imagination and commerce. And it is gone. But you know what the view is now? The Statue of Liberty. The view from the south of Manhattan is now the Statue of Liberty. You can't beat that. What about this?
The Wells report singles out 2 longtime members of the Patriots locker room staff, and some of the most telling evidence is a trail of text messages between those 2 locker room attendants. one of them calling himself the Deflator.
Commander-in-Chief displayed his complete disrespect for the men and women in uniform.
Shut up.
And of course, after 9/11, he was the only voice for the people that cleaned up that damn mess.
What appeared to me to be another example of a Fox News segment expressing anger and victimization over the loss of absolute power and reframing that as persecution of real America by minorities, freeloaders, and socialists. That's trademarked, by the way.
Firefighters spending a year and a half. Firefighters that should have been out fighting fires were there on the ground cleaning up that mess and breathing in that poison. And nobody gave a damn except for Jon Stewart.
And yet, even with these dopey haircuts, you're still so handsome, I would the hole in your chin.
And Mary Trump tweeting, not only is Stewart's both sides are the same rhetoric not funny, it's a potential disaster for democracy.
It's one show! It was just one show! It was 20 minutes! I did 20 minutes of one show!
When a cop pulls me over, I say, I put my hands outside of the car. If I'm carrying a weapon, which I'm licensed to carry in New York, the first thing I tell the police officer is, officer, I want you to know I have a legal firearm in the car. I often would even take my step out of the car, lift my shirt up so we could see where the gun is.
You really do have no idea, do you? You really do.
You know, Jon Stewart took a lot of crap the last couple of weeks with his return. I mean, these aren't exactly subjects that everybody wants to talk about.
Are you comfortable within yourself that nobody on Sunday on the Patriots side did anything wrong?
I have no knowledge of anything. I have no knowledge of any
Are you comfortable that nobody did anything wrong?
Yeah, I'm very comfortable saying that.
I mean, why stop at deflating? Why not lace the ball on both sides? Or just start QBing on stilts? How much is enough, Brady?
If you look up talent in the dictionary, guess whose picture comes up?
Fred Astaire. The man moved like an angel. Biden's back, baby! I know that all the haters have been out there talking their shit. He's too old. He's too weak. He can't make it. He won't be able to stand. Oh, I see you haters. I know who you are.
Great ones don't need to cheat. Did Michael Jordan cheat to get his 6 championships? No. In fact, Michael Jordan decided to play a sport he sucked at, just to give other people a chance to win a championship.
But I guess, as the famous saying goes, democracy dies in discussion.
And of course, his first episode back was pretty damn hard on Biden. That really pissed people off.
I have sinned against you. I'm sorry. It was never my intention to say out loud what I saw with my eyes and then brain.
But the reason why is because Jon Stewart has his finger on the button of the American people. He has forever. The reality is that Jon Stewart talks about things that people are thinking about.
I can do better. I can have learning. I can have it.
A lot of people are trying to make this, Dana, about black and white and trying to make this about race.
This is part of this effort to make it everything about race.
Story about race? Do we know that?
I think it is playing the race card, and I think it's disgraceful.
The only racial divide that is created here is being created by the race baiters.
You know who talks about race? Racists.
Did you just, he who smelt it, dealt it, racism?
And hell, anybody who suggests that Joe Biden's not old as shit is fucking stupid. Now, time was, we respected our elders because they knew things that others did not. Joe Biden's damn sure elder. Hell, Jon Stewart's an elder. Look at that son of a bitch. That's just sad.
When corporations fail, you pay for it. But when they succeed, it's theirs.
They socialize their losses and privatize their gains. Why do we allow that?
Consider this. Wealthy people do not stash their billions in safe deposit boxes loaded with $100 bills. They don't do that. And they don't spend it all at the mall. They don't spend like crazy. No, wealthy people invest. It is investment that creates jobs and economic growth.
See, this is the lie they tell you, that all this money flowing towards corporate and moneyed interests is actually for your benefit. The government intervention for corporations is our free market, but government intervention for workers is socialism. And that's the reason for the socialism scaremongering. It's a false choice to make you believe that this country has but two options: a socialist, authoritarian, hamburgerless Venezuelan nightmare, or accept the status quo, where large corporations benefit from government help, then use some of those profits to lobby the same government for more government help. They want you to believe that in a free market, while your wages stay low, someday the largesse will eventually trickle down. And in the meantime, enjoy watching your tax dollars help billionaires launch themselves into fucking space. I go to study the particulars of unquestioning propaganda. I would need mentorship.
We're in Moscow tonight. We're here to interview the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin.
Saints be praised.
A 52-year-old man named Henry Davis said that 4 Ferguson police officers beat him, then charged him with damaging government property because his blood had gotten on the officers' uniforms.
So let me get this straight. You guys got tanks, but you can't keep a couple of Tide sticks around?
People talk about how Jon Stewart does this both sides bullshit. How dare he? He needs to pick a team. Come in off the bench, Jon, and, come on in for the big win. Anybody who thinks that there are both sides to an issue doesn't understand anything about the issue. There's not both sides. Every issue has 50, at least.
For the children who worship you, at least show some pride in your team. You're a patriot, Tom Brady. A team named after this country's most cherished post-9/11 Legislative Surveillance Act.
I wrote a book called Shut Up and Sing. This would be Shut Up and Commentate on Sports, because we're not really interested in what Bob Costas thinks about guns.
Right, but why do you get to talk?
Because if I may, very quickly, no disrespect,
I don't much care what you have to say about it. Yet, whenever I turn on the TV, you're there talking about it. That's the subject of my book, Shut Up and Shut Up.
Some issues, my God, the sides are infinite. Take Israel.
Actually, I should say, Fox actually showed quite a lot of restraint. Here's the music they were going to use.
Discuss Israel-Palestine.
Any discussion of Israel-Palestine is not meant to endorse or justify all the actions of either side. Mentions of Hamas that fail to condemn Hamas do not mean we don't condemn Hamas.
What Israel's doing is evil. It's obvious. Netanyahu is a pig. He has always been. He promised security and only brought their house down.
Do not listen to this segment if you're predisposed to anti-Semitism or Islamophobia. Common side effects of discussing the Middle East are depression, anxiety, infections of the perineum, and craving hummus.
The reality is, Netanyahu is the reason why Israel is unsecure.
Benjamin Netanyahu is calling for complete demilitarization of Gaza, as well as Israel taking over security and controlling entry and exit points to Gaza.
So your peace plan is a siege. As always, we leave it to Fox to truly stretch the limits of who may lend some expertise.
You may know John Edward as the psychic medium from the television show Crossing Over.
But of course there's not two sides. There's the Israel side and there's the Palestinian side.
Victory is within reach, and you can't have victory until you eliminate Hamas.
Well, what about the American side? Obviously, this needs to stop. But what power do you think Joe Biden has?
But, okay. But your plan to eliminate Hamas by destroying all of Gaza, doesn't that just make more Hamases? That Fox opposes the Syria peace plan because its modus operandi is to foment dissent in the form of a relentless and irrational contrarianism to Barack Obama and all things democratic, to advance its ultimate objective of creating deliberately misinformed body politic whose fear, anger, mistrust, and discontent is the mana upon which it sustains its parasitic, succubus-like existence. And, I blacked out for a second. Was I saying something?
If you believe an issue has two sides, try 22 sides. Try 2,200 sides. What the fuck are you talking about?
The intense phase of the fighting is weeks away from completion. Not months, weeks away from completion.
Oh, dear God.
Israel and Palestine have enormous amount of different sides.
If you insist on this plan, if you think that ends Hamas, I believe we in the United States have a banner you can use.
By the way, where is Saudi Arabia? Full of shit. Chock full of Republicans.
This is shameful. There has to be accountability for these war crimes.
No targeting civilians in war.
Stop the war crimes and the atrocities and end the war today. It could happen right now.
Right now! Thank you! These atrocities must be... So I'm being told the administration was talking about Russia bombing Ukraine. I apologize.
Netanyahu's a scum-sucking piece of shit. His entire party. Likud is chock full of Republicans. Sidebar to that. Did you know that Donald Trump did a commercial for Netanyahu in 2012? Haha, these boys go way back.
My name is Donald Trump, and I'm a big fan of Israel. And frankly, a strong prime minister is a strong Israel. And you truly have a great prime minister. In Benjamin Netanyahu, there's nobody like him. He's a winner. He's highly respected. He's highly thought of by all. And people really do have great, great respect for what's happened in Israel. So vote for Benjamin. Terrific guy, terrific leader, great for Israel.
And just like then and now, Trump is against Israel. Because he supports Netanyahu.
The Biden administration is urging Israel to be much more careful, to be more cautious.
How Israel does this matters.
Israel must do more to protect innocent civilians.
We want to see the government of Israel take steps to minimize civilian harm.
Be more surgical and more precise.
Be more careful.
Hey, Israel!
I got off on a tangent. That's not what this video is about. Let me get back on track.
If you think I wouldn't chastise you if you had committed these acts while in my team, a New York Giants uniform, if you think that I wouldn't chastise you for that, that would be correct. Reconcile the brilliance and knowledge that you have of the intricacies of the market with the crazy bull I see you do every night.
There's a market for it, and you give it to them, and I think
there's a market for cocaine and hookers.
You know what's happened to Jon Stewart? Not a damn thing. With age comes wisdom, and he's greater now than he ever was. And if you don't like what he has to say, then look at yourself. There might be a problem. Because there's nobody who's more on our team than Jon Stewart. Because he's on your team. He's on my team. He's on the first responders and 9/11's team. he's always been on our team. So for all you people out there that question Jon Stewart's loyalty, he really needs to, blah, 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 blah. Fuck you.
Professor! Tell me, what is step one in delivering world-class fealty to power?
Here's why we're doing it. First, because it's our job.
If you don't like what he has to say, fucking turn him off.
We're in journalism.
Lie about what your job is.
If it really pisses you off, make a fucking video about it.
In journalism, our duty is to inform people.
Lie about what your duty is.
Tell me in the comments about what I got wrong. Because in my mind, Jon Stewart is fucking brilliant. Y'all take it easy. I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal.
We have a gentleman who can face off with President Bush in a spirited debate. So first, we'd like to welcome to the program the President of the United States, George W. Bush. Sir?
Thanks for the warm welcome. It's good to be here.
Sir, nobody actually clapped, but and to debate President Bush, a much more popular figure, first-term President George W. Bush.
Good evening. I'm pleased to take your questions tonight.
Wonderful news.